Hey, Zane Griggs here. So today I want to explain why you don't want to have high carb and high fat in the same meal. And by carb I mean starchy carbs, easily digested, broken down carbs. Not veggies, which are carbs, but they're so high in fiber that they don't break down very quickly and you don't get a whole lot of energy from them. I'm talking about starches and sugars, pasta, rice, beans, the honey bun, so any kind of, for that matter, honey or any kind of sweetener like that. We don't want that with high-fat food. Okay, so what happens is, I'll explain real quickly what happens in your body. When you have that starchy or sugary food, insulin goes up. And you've heard me say that. If you've heard any of my videos, you've probably heard me say it pretty much in every one of them. Insulin goes up, okay? So it's going to start moving those carbs out of your system, out of the bloodstream, because it's toxic for us to have too much of it, and try to get to the muscle cells, but whatever can't get the muscle cells is going straight to fat cells, which is probably a good part of it. If you're struggling with weight gain, that's what's going on. You're shuttling all those carbs to your fat cells. Well, if the fat is in there with it, circulating with it, that you just eaten, like a high carb, so you just had 30 grams of carb with whatever you're having that's kind of sugary and starchy, and you're having another 15-20 grams of fat along with that, you're shuttling all of that into fat stores. Okay, the fat's not going to hang out. The insulin's going to take it all and store it as fat. So you're basically adding to what you store in your fat cells, as opposed to if you just have veggies in the fat. Okay, so you do have very small, if any, bump in insulin at all. That fat and the fiber in those veggies will just keep circulating through your system, and there's no insulin to remove it, so it's going to be circulating through your system. You're going to have that energy to burn all the time, since you've eaten it. Okay, for the time after you've eaten it, as well as you'll keep releasing fat from your fat stores for needed energy, depending on your activity, depending on your energy requirements. Protein is different. Okay, so if you're going to have like a post-workout meal, you want it to be protein and carbs. So if you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to be aggressive about losing weight, you want a little carb to recover after a heavy weight training workout or some kind of sprint, heavy interval, high intensity workout. Not just jogging down the street, okay? Not just steady state cardio, but like a high intensity workout. But you still want to, so you have a little recovery, but you still want to lose weight. Your goal is to lose weight. 15 grams of carbs with a protein that's between 20 and 40 grams. So you got to make your shake, or whatever your protein and carb source is. Like for instance, half an apple and a chicken breast, something like that, or a pouch of salmon, okay, with maybe a peach of some sort, or half a grapefruit. So that's what we're looking at, 15 grams of carb. If you want to have more of the full serving, if your weight loss is not as much of a concern, you really want to recover from that workout, have a full serving, 30 grams of carbs with protein. But unless you're really trying to pack on the pounds, you don't want any fat in that. You want your fat to be in the single digits, if at all, barely sneaking in there with that kind of meal. So protein and fat together is fine. So like chicken with avocado and a salad, okay, that's fine. What we don't want is heaping on the avocado and the beans and rice with the salad and the meat, because the salad and the meat are fine, okay? But when you're heaping on a cup of avocado along with the cup or two of rice and beans, well then you've got high carb, high fat together again, even though you've got salad in there and meat. So unless that's your dinner, or it's right after a tremendous, like you just ran your marathon, okay, you're trying to refuel, or you're training for your triathlon, that kind of thing. But if your goal is weight loss, that's not what you want to do. You want to do the opposite. So if you do have your evening meal, and that's when you're having your carbs in, like I recommend, and you're going to have your carb serving, you want that to be a lower fat meal. So your carb serving is the cup of whatever it is. It's the rice, the quinoa, the beans, whatever you choose that to be. You don't want that with heaping on the fat. You don't want to be heaping on the avocado. You have a little cheese on there. That's fine. A little cheese on your veggies. You get away with that. A little olive oil and vinegar on your salad. So there's going to be some fat that sneaks in anyway. We don't want to load up on the fat. We don't want to make that a high-fat meal when you're having your carb source, because you're just adding to the problem. And real quick, let's think about what are the foods that kind of give us the greatest euphoria. We tend to be attracted to those foods because it creates these dopamine release, okay, in our system, where it makes us feel good. It's like almost like a drug. Like it's a neurotransmitter. It makes us feel good. So think about those foods that we tend to go to that are high fat and high carb: donuts, pizza, ice cream, comfort foods, essentially. Um, Weight gainers, for sure. So if you're trying to lose weight, I don't care if it's a healthy source of fat and what you might consider a healthy source of carb, okay? So it's not gluten, it's rice and avocado. Yeah, those are two, you could argue, very healthy foods, but it's still fat and carbs, okay? I don't care if it's organic. I don't care, non-GMO. Your body, insulin is going to respond the same way, okay? So don't justify combining those because they're organic, or you've got organic honey, or organic, what was that sweetener everybody came out with? It was that from that cactus. I'm losing my train of thought now, but they make tequila from it. Agave nectar. It's full on fructose, okay, which is the problem. There goes fatty liver. So we don't want to try to justify adding those things together because they're in some way considered healthy or organic. Your body's still going to respond to a high-fat, high-carb meal the same way. It's going to shuttle it all into fat stores because it's way too much energy for your body to burn at one time, and if insulin's there, it's going to pack it away. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If you know someone who could benefit from this, feel free to tag them in the comments, and I'll talk to you later. Hey, Justin. Good to see you. I'll answer your question in just a second.